Welcome. Thank you all so much for being here. Grab your mic, your seat. Let's get comfortable. I'd love to just ask you all an introductory question to also talk about how you reclaim the narrative in your work. What does it mean to each of you, and what does it look like specifically, practically, in your day-to-day? Small question.
Would you like me to start?
Alan.
I have a very simple answer. To reclaim the narrative, I really work with one thing, and that is awe and wonder. If you cannot instill awe and wonder in people when they see your images, your films, you lose them. So, no pie charts. I have a friend who said nobody has ever been converted by a pie chart. It used to be possible to convert people with graphs, but those two, I think, are finished when it comes to impact media. So that's my brief one.
Love it. Prasiddhi, can you tell us a little bit about what your work looks like and how you work to reclaim hope?
Well, if you don't mind, I'll quickly share my story.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'll go for it. Well, I'll tell you a quick story. This is the story of a 4-year-old young girl who lives in the southern part of India and loves nature like anything, spending time with the trees, with the birds, with the butterfly, getting her hair all messy, pebbles in her pocket. And in the year 2016, when Varda cyclone hits the shore of where she lives, and she's only 4 years old, she sees it tear down her entire hometown where she lives, her friends, trees, whom she refers to as her friends. And at that point of time, she feels so bad that she says, what can I do to help my dear tree friends? And she sees some of these posters about tree plantation drives happening in the surrounding, and she thinks that this is a way for me to give back, and starts participating in all of these drives, only at the age of 4, going 50 kilometers, 60 kilometers far to be a part of these plantation drives, learn from experts how it's done about indigenous tree plantation, about building a nursery. She learns from the villagers, the farmers, about traditional techniques, does it herself. And then at the age of 6, she hears somewhere that the whole drive was of 100,000 trees and that it was about to end. And she did not want it to end. So she took a goal that I will also plant 100,000 trees, which was very ambitious for a 6-year-old girl. Someone even asked this young girl that, do you even know how many zeros are there in 100,000 that you want to plant so many trees? But she told how many there are, and she believed in the power of a small candle that can light up the entire room, basically. But that was all about hope. It was time for action. She started off with rural schools, going to each one of them, telling as a 6-year-old girl, collecting the funds for her tree plantations, and from schools to villagers, with farmers, with local authorities. And now, today, she has planted 200,000 trees. And
did you know she's 13 years old? This is incredible.
And I'm happy to share that this is my story. I'm Prasiddhi.
Own it. Love it.
And to me, I think this is what reclaiming the narrative is. You don't wait for some other superhero to come and do it for you. You take the mic, you take the tree, you take the shovel, you take the seed, you take the opportunity, and you go for it, and you do it.
Whew. I'm inspired.
Oh, thank you.
Ugo, we had a candid behind-the-scenes chat. You described yourself to me as a super pessimist, but your work is all about imagining futures. So I just wanted you to explain a little bit, how do these two things coexist in your work?
In fact, a few years ago, when I began doing my movie, I felt like we were getting in a really bad science fiction movie, and I said to myself, okay, maybe science fiction in a way is responsible of what we end up in, you know, and maybe it's our turn now as science fiction writers, as writers, to imagine something else, because if we want things to happen, we have to imagine them first. So if we want the best to happen, we have to imagine them first. And for example, if Elon Musk is able to do everything he does now, it's because he works on a narrative that is super well anchored in our brains, you know, in the overall unconscious in the world. So it just has to put one more layer on the top, and everyone is okay because they know the story already. So maybe now we have to tell other stories if we want other realities to be in the world.
And how do you avoid a kind of kumbaya narrative? How do you keep it edgy as the science fiction?
It's funny because also when we say we tell stories, we say we dramatize. And human beings, we have a really strong tropism for bad situations, and also stories often are not good when there's nothing bad happening, because the thing that goes bad makes the adventure begin. So it was really hard, and it's always hard.
Is that why there's always a bad guy in a
Sorry?
Is that why there's always a bad guy in a kid's book?
Yeah, or bad things happening, or I don't know. So it's super hard to write without putting bad ingredients in the thing, and in fact, at the end of the day, you have to use humanity, and in humanity there's good and bad, and you have to respect both, and to treat them right, and to build on both sides of what makes us humans, and being human is fighting against the bad part of yourself, but also knowing her really good.
Amen. Alan, you've described to me that the current media landscape is a power fight, with some actors operating at a completely different scale. You said that we're fighting with water pistols. So where do you feel that imbalance most acutely right now?
Well, it's very clear. To those of you who don't know, I'm the founder of a digital network called Waterbear Network. You can download it for free, and you can watch, it looks like Netflix, but you can watch films about really subjects pertaining to all of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And what's happening is, because of Waterbear, I left Amsterdam and I moved to the United States. I live on an island in the state of Maine. And without a doubt, the media marketplace that has degenerated the most over the last years is the United States. I sent Lucy a few weeks ago a list of networks that are now in the hands of really radical right-wing actors. They include ESPN, they include CNN, they include CBS, Paramount, Warner Brothers, Discovery. It's an unbelievable list. And that's why I said to Lucy that in our, my business is media, so I make films, I produce films, but I also founded this network. So in this landscape, we are being crushed by a kind of nuclear power of entertainment platforms that are powered by billions and billions of dollars of right-wing money. And that's why I said to Lucy, it's like being given a water pistol in a nuclear war. So we don't have big networks. We have fantastic philanthropists that are backing us with films and productions and various social media ventures, but we are not strong enough to create the upswell we need to have as people to really be seen and heard when it comes to the interests we all have in our future on this planet.
Shout out to fantastic philanthropists. We would like to speak more to you. Prasiddhi, you speak about hope, reality, and responsibility, and also holding the most responsible to account. In your opinion, what does holding power to account look like in practice in your work?
Well, as I was telling you earlier, I'm a person of action, a girl of action, a young girl of action. And I think that holding power to account is a lot about getting things done. And I really want to place this in the context of sustainability, because I feel that how can we make sure that sustainability or climate is no longer the extra element or a separate sector, but make it a part of everything, right? How is it a part of companies, schools, films, right? How can sustainability not just be an extra sector, but be a part of everything? And more importantly, I think holding people or power to account is about partnerships. Here at ChangeNOW, it's all about partnerships, right? Everybody coming together. And when people work together, when companies work with young people, when rural communities work with policymakers, when cross-sectoral exchange happens, intergenerational exchange happens, and people with power connect with the people on the ground, people taking action, people facing the realities, I think when this partnership takes place, that is when real action happens, and that is what holding people to account would actually mean.
Love it. Very positive. Not like me. I'm also a super pessimist. Ugo, which brings me to Ugo. If we're serious about reclaiming the narrative, what do we need to stop doing? And what do we need to start building instead? And can you give an example of where this worked and didn't?
Can you repeat, please?
If we're serious about reclaiming the narrative, what is it that we need to stop doing? We've spoken a lot about what we need to start doing. What do we need to stop doing?
Lying to ourselves first,
And
which is the hardest part because in our inner, minds, we lie to ourselves always. And it's about watching the worst part of us first and then accept it and then work on it. And I don't know. Also, if we think climate change as a bad thing, I think we're done. I think it's almost over. Yeah, it's over already. But if we see it as the first time in human history to fight for something together, rather than fighting against each other, maybe we have a shot, but it looks like it's difficult.
And Alan, you said that one more graph will make us shut down. So in your experience as an executive producer, as a storyteller, what is it that actually cuts through? What are the stories that we need to be? Because I also admitted to you that sometimes I just go and watch like Love is Blind and really tune out. So how do we engage folks like me?
First of all, we are all entitled to have fun. It's very important. It is way too harsh to live a life, especially with the jobs I think we all have. The jobs we all have are about situations that are very critical, underexposed, underfunded. So of course we have to have fun.
Yeah.
And if we don't have energy, we cannot succeed. So in a way, and I really feel for both of you pessimists, and I really feel for you, the optimist, but we need energy for all of it. And no matter whether this is a losing game or not, we have to move forward. We have to take the opportunity to work with our friends and partners, and we have to enjoy inspiration and inspiring others. So I'm back to awe and wonder. That's my job. I'm in the awe and wonder business, and I think you should all be in that business.
You've touched my cold heart. Prasiddhi, we had a little thing you wanted to do at the end, but I think now might be a perfect moment to bring that awe and wonder to life, to give the room some energy. Yeah, take it away.
All right, let's do it now. So I actually wanted to...
Go for it.
I wanted to introduce you to my book real quickly. So I'm 13 years old, and I'm on a mission to plant 10 million trees, which is, thank you, which I know is huge and ambitious, but I'm sure I can make it happen. And for that, I launched a book, which is an illustrated storybook for children about the Great Barrier Reef. This is my second one after the Amazon rainforest. And for each book that you buy, I plant one tree. And it's incredibly special. It's also there near the collective stage on a booth. You can drop by, grab a copy, join my mission. But it's very special to me because it is a representation of hope and how imagination, how art can transcend boundaries, how words can help people reimagine, especially young people reimagine the future and create solutions inspired from the oceans, inspired from the forest. And I wanted to do a little chant with all of you. So can you all shout after me? Yeah? Do we still have energy left?
Yes.
Yes.
We have
all
energy.
Right, perfect. So I want to ask all of you. I'll ask, who are we? I want you to say leaders of change. And then I ask, who will create a better future? I want you to say, we will. Who will create a better planet? We will. When do we want change? Now. Act now. Start now. All right? You want
Got
to
it.
do a rehearsal?
No, we got it.
We got it?
We got it.
Perfect. So who are we?
Leaders.
Of change. Who will create a better future? We will. Who will create a better planet?
We will.
Change.
Now.
Act. It's so low.
I'm a terrible leader for
can't
anything
hear it.
like
Can
this. You did a really good job.
But let's do it one more time.
Okay.
You want to join in?
Yeah, I'll join in.
Yeah? Everyone louder, okay? Let's go for this. Change.
Now.
Act.
Now.
Change.
Now.
Act.
Now.
Who will create a better future?
We will.
Who will create a better planet? When do we start?
Now.
Now. Woohoo!
Yay, you're such a... I should hang around you more. Thank you, audience. You did much better than me. Following instructions has never been something that came naturally to me. So, I wanted to ask you, as individuals, what can we do? And then how can we come together to challenge existing systems and power? Hugo, what's your perspective on this?
As it's been said, I think it's important to have fun. It's important to again, it's the first opportunity to be together, and it's great. And also, I think we should rely on not on numbers as we do since a lot of times now, but on what makes us humans: emotions, feelings, imagination, and we are magical creatures, and we tend to forget it. But I think it's really important to reconnect to that part of us, the magical part of us, and because it's the only thing that will make us able to do the breakthrough. I think, and AI is putting us in real danger. Also because it takes confidence out of us, but I really think it's important to say to our children, we are magical creatures. We have something in our heads that it's way more powerful than everything in the universe, so let's use it, let's imagine, let's dream the world, and this is what I think will make everything possible.
You and I have children about the same age, and I think you have 3 children. It's the most humbling experience to reconnect with how magical we are as human beings. So I think that's a fantastic takeaway. Did you have anything you wanted to add around what individuals can do and then how we can come together to drive collective action?
I have something to add, and that comes from, 30 years of experience in the field, and I've been making impact documentaries for about 15 years of my life. It's very important to understand that we are all designers, whether we are bankers or accountants or wonderful filmmakers, speakers. We are all designers. We design our own life. We design the life around us. And every day we are designing part of reality. So don't box yourself in and say, I'm a lawyer, I can't do that, or I'm a filmmaker, I can't do that. The time is to go off-piste and to actually embrace more of your talents, meet people from different sectors. I think that filmmakers need to meet brands. I think marketeers need to meet activists. I think that everybody needs to cross-pollinate. And once you do that, you take down all the silos. And once you've taken down all the silos, you create a global community that allows everybody to focus on doing what they do best. There.
Boom.
Boom.
Prasiddhi, you're Gen Alpha, and you're an AI entrepreneur, a content creator. So tell me about the future of platforms. Tell me how to reach people. What are the tools you're using? How are you building?
I think that's a wonderful question. I really wanted to add on what you said earlier, which was about imagination and how we are also humans, because in the climate space, sometimes we become too over-reliant, I'll say, on statistics and numbers, as you said. But it's so important that people connect with each other. that you understand emotions, and that you get the message across through whichever way possible. For me, I found some of the exciting ways to be speaking, social media, because yes, as mentioned by you, I come from Gen Alpha, and yes, I come from Gen Alpha, the generation after Gen Z, and we are all about social media because we believe in family, we believe in community, we believe in connection. And social media, I think, has a wonderful power to do that. Another exciting thing which I say is that probably now we are moving from Gen Z and Gen Alpha to Generation AI, because we are the first generation, I'll say, born with AI in our hands, but world crisis on our doorstep. Right, we're surrounded by the climate crisis, problems, but I think AI has a revolutionary way to help us build solutions that can actually solve these problems. Yes, its physical footprint is massive, but I think its power to transform does outweigh its physical footprint at times. What I did, for instance, is I built my own AI platform called greenbuzzai.com, which helps young people identify green career paths harnessing AI. In a gamified way, it helps young people identify green career paths. And if we all start harnessing AI, I think it could make a huge difference building this partnership between climate, nature, and young people. Because even though I am a nature lover, I feel that the future relies in how we connect both of them. Just earlier, I was telling her how I've learned a lot of my things from nature. For instance, do you know where I first learned about partnerships? I learned it from a bee. When I saw a bee pollinating a flower and a flower giving nectar to the bee, that collaboration that happened to me told me how important it is to connect and to collaborate. And I think that on the larger forums, this is exactly what we need at this point of time. How can we harness this? And how can we change our lens to go from luxury to life and start valuing forests beyond our fossil fuel fortunes, start valuing our forests, our rivers, our oceans beyond our quarterly profits, and design a better future.
Ugo, I'll invite you to directly respond to this because I know you have a strong perspective on AI, and I do think it's important we balance it out.
Yeah, I think AI is taking a lot from us, and every technology revolution, I think, should be seen as what are we winning and what are we losing. And today I really feel like we're losing way much more than what we are winning. I don't speak about medicine. I don't speak about some aspects of it, but I'm so afraid it's maybe the first time in history that there will be a breakup between rich and poor, because now poor people, when I say poor people, I'm saying everybody in the room here now.
Yeah.
And not just a few people will be able to buy human fiction in a few years. Now the poor people, us, we eat processed food by robots. We are dressed with robot-made clothes, but our minds are still humans, made by humans, you know. And it's also because telling stories is about sharing reality and sharing experience of reality. And I'm so afraid of AI telling us stories that are not related to reality, because computers don't come from an experience world, you know. They come from a word of death, a word of everything is the same, you know. But us, what makes us humans is that we say, this is important for me, and this is more important than this, you know. And that's what makes us what we are, you know. And I'm so afraid of our minds being built by robots, and I'm so afraid about you know, I don't know how to say that in English, but the way that we shrink in ourselves, the way that we lose our ability to think and to dream the world. And also because most of the time I hear people say that it's a tool. No, it's not a tool, because a tool helps me going in you know, I use it, it's in my hand, and I do errors with it, and the errors make me know where I'm going after, you know. But with AI, you just correct errors from someone else. It's not your own errors, so you don't learn from your errors. And humanity is all about learning from our errors. And I'm super afraid and I think honestly too that this year AI how do you say, consommer, consumed the amount of water, bottle of water. In 4 years, it will be 16 times the amount of bottles. So in 4 years, humans will not have water. It's
the
like
water
this.
wars are
It's
coming.
numbers. Because if you want if you really want to talk about numbers, AI will be 16 times more powerful in 4 years, but it will also consume 16 more times. So let's face it, and I think, for example, states should put laws on it and say, okay, everybody that does a prompt has to pay, for example, €2 because it's the price of a bottle of water.
This is the solution, people. Regulation with some sort of payment, not removal.
And everybody, United States, they need money. France, Europe, they need money. Take money from the AI, and it's the only way to lower the use of AI, the dumb use of AI, and to put the AI where it's really needed, and not in stupid frames or stupid movies made by persons that don't know the craft.
Well, I had no idea where this conversation was going to go, and I thank all of you, and I will give all of you an opportunity to say one final thing. I think this has been an amazing, very diverse, creative, cultural panel, and I'm grateful to have you here. One final remark from each of you, because we are very over time. It's 2040. We've reclaimed the narrative. What does the world look like? Can you take me there? One sentence, 2 sentences. Take me there. Whoever's ready to go. Prasiddhi. It's 2040. We've reclaimed the narrative. We've achieved our goals. Where are we?
Okay. So, well, I invite you to close your eyes. Everyone, close your eyes. I think that the world in 2040 is a place where everyone is treated equally, fairly. We have clear skies. I think at this point of time, I should focus on clear skies, where local farm does not mean miles away, but between our homes and our neighbors' homes and our own kitchen gardens. I think where we have biophilic architecture, where positivity thrives amongst young people. Climate education is in every corner. We are not taught about trees and biodiversity in classrooms, but in the forest where we actually get to feel and see it, where people celebrate our planet more than our profit. And I think a world where we all smile.
That was beautiful, and we will end there. I think it was fantastic, unless anybody else has another vision to add. Ellen?
Well, I have one simple thing, because I'm a mother and hopefully soon to be a grandmother. In 2040, I see that everybody in the world, northern and southern hemisphere, enjoys equal education. And once everybody enjoys equal education, there will be no opportunity for fascism.
Ugo?
I just hope that there will not be war and this fucking violence.
Such a realist.
That's all I can wish for us.
Yeah. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you for being here.